Hello everyone, my name is Estefania Milla Moreno. Today I'd like to share with you part of my doctoral research about phytoremediation of tailings of a Chilean copper mine. Phytoremediation is quite a long word, but essentially phyto means plants, and remediation comes from the ability of some plants to remediate the ecosystems. I want you to think of a pristine site full of metals with plants thriving on it. Then a mine comes, takes the metals and leaves some waste, the tailings. Surprisingly, the plants can still survive in these soils. I study these plants. Chile is the leading copper producer in the world. The copper industry alone provides 10% of the Chilean gross domestic product and 50% of the exports. Now, this welfare is linked with Chile's holding of about 700 tailings. The copper mines are not efficient, and to produce 1 ton of fine copper, you have to have 140 tons of ore. So, as you were saying, in the context of climate change, we will have to look into copper, because copper is a key element used in clean energy systems that produce power from solar, hydro, wind, and thermal. So we're gonna need more copper mines. What do we do with the waste? The mining facilities are located in places where we have different types of plants. So we have grasses, big trees, small trees. They all will try to somehow overcome the metals that surround them, either by avoiding them or tolerating them. Can you think of a plant that is taking a lot of metals and then accumulating them on the leaves? Then an animal comes, eats the leaves, and what's going to happen is that the animal might get contaminated, as well as the people that are using the meat and the dairy products coming from this animal. It's crucial that we study these plants. The majority of the tailings in Chile are located in the northern regions, in blue. Most of the tailing facilities are located in Atacama and Coquimbo. But from all the tailings, only 5 municipalities concentrate more than half of the tailings of the country: Antofagasta and the metropolitan region. I was set to explore a plantation of 25,000 plants. They were planted in 30 hectares in 2012 in 3 treatments: tailings, tailings and compost, and tailings and mycorrhizae, which is a symbiotic fungus. The Coquimbo region is very important. Its flora represents 30% of total Chilean flora, and it has 54% of endemism in Chile. That means that there are some plants that we cannot find anywhere else. What happened is that, unlike other metals, copper is not readily bioavailable for people and other mammals. On the contrary, for plants, copper toxicity can be very disturbing, making inhibition of growth and other effects. Plants, though, have some defense mechanisms, like root exudates, that will help to increase or decrease the bioavailability of copper. Plants can also put copper away in the cytosol or the vacuoles, which are like storage bubbles within the cell. So together with Omar, my fieldwork partner, we were able to check the survival of 11 species. All but 1 were natives. I guess Saligna was exotic. I was told that it brought good luck to the owner of the mine, so that's why they put it there. I was able to see that the healthier looking plants, or the darker greener, were not necessarily the largest ones, as you can see in most of the cases, but especially in Algarrobo and Quillay at the end of the graphs. Light can be re-emitted from the plants, and the fluorometer is a machine that allows you to see the quantity of this light, and it can tell you how stressed the plants are. As you might imagine, all the plants were very stressed out. So I looked into Quillay, and Quillay not only took little amount of copper, but also kept it mostly on the roots. Espino, in the contrary, took a lot of copper and then mobilized it to the aerial parts. If we want to keep copper on the ground, then we're not gonna want to put Espino. Part of my PSI work was to set an unprecedented seminar inviting members of the industry, academia, and environmental NGO. Conversations about tailing management are done without public engagement, so this was very novel. After the seminar, we had some workshops with each of the panelists, so the people could talk about how to manage the tailings, how to include silent stakeholders, what to do with this sustainable mine concept, and so on and so forth. Right now, I am just working in a follow-up experiment in the greenhouse at UBC, and I am also preparing a policy paper. I aim to inform decision makers into incorporating native species that are pre-adapted to these stressful conditions into their ecosystem restoration plans. This has been a very intense journey, and I have to acknowledge all of those involved, especially, and I'm lucky to say, to my family and my supervisor, as well as my committee members and Omar. Lastly, please, if you want to connect, I'll be super happy to do it after the talk, or you have some options that I'm providing here. Thank you so much.